What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with an all new nostalgic T story video. Today we're doing a story on the legendary soul singer Al Green. And it is his story about a beef that he had with Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson played with Al Green for 3 years before quitting in January. This is when the article was written, said the altercation was over money Al Green owed him. So these two men got into it because Al did not pay up on some money that he owed Larry. Now let's get into this story. It's quite a lengthy one, so let's get into it. So Larry Roberts, oh, and by the way, I got this story from Hollywood_RIC on Instagram. Larry Robertson had had enough of Al Green's crap, enough of it. The legendary soul singer owed him money and was refusing to pay up, which in 1977 made Larry angry because in 1977, Al Green had more than enough money to pay the measly $200 that he owed. Now, Al, you need your kick. Get that man his $200. $200. But the love and happiness crooner didn't quite see it that way. In fact, as far as Al was concerned, he didn't owe Larry Robinson a goddamn thing. So he wasn't paying him a thing. Period, poo. But this decision not to pay Larry was about to lead to an infamous beatdown that would have tongues wagging all the way in Chinatown. The drama first started when Al Green asked Larry, who was an organist and longtime friend, to play 2 concert dates for him for $500. Larry accepted the offer and played the 2 concert dates, but was only paid $300 instead of the agreed upon $500. When Larry asked about the rest of his money, he was told he wasn't getting it since he still owed Al $200 for an unpaid hotel bill from back in the day. Well, Larry, if you owe that man for the hotel room, you got to chalk it up, boo. Larry flew into a rage. Unpaid hotel bill? When? How? Man, hell no. Larry wanted the rest of his money and he wanted it now. But Al Green wasn't giving him another dry penny, and that was final. So Larry did what any man would do in that situation. He started hounding Al Green for his money every hour on the hour. But when this didn't work, Larry became more aggressive and started threatening to kick Al Green's ass if he didn't get the rest of his money. Larry was warned by Al's people to leave the matter alone and back off, but Larry wouldn't listen. So one day, Memorial Day, Larry went to Al Green's hotel room and banged on the door. Boom, 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 boom. When Al opened the door, Larry barged in, cursing and demanding the rest of his money. But unfortunately for Larry, Al Green wasn't alone that day because Al had company with him. Company in the form of his 2 bodyguards who were just as tired of Larry's bull as Al was. Al closed the door behind Larry, and that's when punches came raining down on Larry's head from all angles. Larry went down quickly, but the beating didn't stop because the beating was just getting started. Child. And this is only part 1 of the story. Larry, you got your ass kicked over $200. Like, you must have really need that $200, baby. Like, was it that serious? Bang, pow, boom, crack. Were the sounds coming from Al Green's hotel room as Al Green and his bodyguards clobbered Larry Robinson on Memorial Day in 1977. After the beatdown was done, Al Green's bodyguards tossed Larry from the hotel room and told him not to bring his ass back. Larry didn't go back. Instead, he staggered up to a payphone nearby and called the police. Oh, you a snitch too? When the police arrived, they found Larry with blood all over his face and noticed that his left eye was swollen shut, not to mention the size of a golf ball. They f***ed Larry up. Larry told the police what happened and wanted Al Green and his bodyguards, who he called henchmen, arrested. But the law wouldn't be on Larry's side in this matter because Al Green would claim self-defense by telling police that Larry had attacked him first. Larry denied these claims, but Al Green's bodyguards supported Al's story, as did other witnesses who were staying at the hotel that day. Several hotel witnesses told police they heard Larry hooting and hollering and making threats before he went to Al Green's hotel room. So, with this information in mind, the police decided to arrest both Larry Robinson and Al Green on misdemeanor charges. But that's it. Al Green posted his bond and was out of jail in no time. Larry was furious. No, scratch that. Larry was beyond furious because not only had Al Green cheated him out of his money, but now Al Green had just beaten the snot out of him and nothing was being done about it. Larry couldn't believe his luck, and he damn sure couldn't believe that they were only charging Al Green with a simple misdemeanor charge, because as far as he was concerned, Al Green and his bodyguard should have been charged with attempted murder, using his head as a human pinata. Well, to hell with it then. Larry thought if he couldn't get any justice from the police, he would just have to take matters into his own hands and get some good old street justice. Oh, they taking it to the streets now, my. That's right. Larry Robinson was about to teach Al Green a thing or two about the word revenge. Ooh, this is getting juicy, girl. This should have been a Lifetime movie. They say time heals all wounds, but in the case of Larry Robinson, time hadn't healed a goddamn thing, because Larry was still wounded and still pissed. It was now January of 1978, and Larry couldn't stop thinking about Al Green. Although 7 months had passed since Al and his bodyguards beat the stuffing out of Larry, Larry was still mentally and emotionally wounded from that whooping. I bet he was. And now nothing, it seemed, would ever make things right for Larry except one thing: revenge. So Larry began plotting and planning his revenge by tracking Al Green's movements and whereabouts. Oh, he is sneaky. This wasn't necessarily hard to do at the time, since Al Green was still on tour and still promoting his tour dates on the radio. Larry knew that Al Green would be coming to New York City soon and decided that's where he would make his move. But it had to be a carefully planned move this time around, because the last move Larry pulled when he ran up on Al Green doing all of that hooting and hollering backfired and resulted in Larry getting popped upside the head. So if Larry didn't want a repeat of that, he would have to be smarter this time around and a lot wiser too. So the 187 was set for January 1978, when Al Green was scheduled to perform in New York City at Radio City Music Hall. On that day, Larry stood inside of Radio City Music Hall's lobby and waited for Al Green's limousine to pull up. When it did, Larry was there to greet Al Green. According to Al Green's close friend, Reuben Fairfax Jr., Larry said hello to Al Green and quickly apologized for his behavior on Memorial Day back in 1977. This brought a smile to Al Green's face, who was happy to see that Larry was able and willing to put the past behind him and move on. The two men shook hands and buried the bad blood right there on the spot. Or so Al Green thought. Al Green asked Larry if he wanted to go back to his dressing room for a quick moment before the show started. Larry said he did. Sure, yeah, I do. You got some bourbon back there? And with that, the two men, as well as Al's entourage, headed for Al Green's dressing room. But this was a big mistake. Big mistake. Big. Because Larry was about to make his move. Child, we got 2 more parts to this. Woo! Jesus, I want to know what happened. As Al Green, Larry Robinson, and Al's entourage entered his dressing room in January of 1978, Al Green and Larry moved off to the side to have a quick conversation in private. But the two men wouldn't get that much privacy, because Al Green's bodyguard stood nearby listening to every word of their conversation. This intrusion of privacy irritated the hell out of Larry, who was hoping for a moment alone with Al Green so that he could, whoop his. But Al Green's bodyguards weren't stupid. They knew that Larry was a hothead who couldn't be trusted, so they kept a close eye on him and Al Green the entire time. Larry would have been better off at this point just leaving the matter alone and going home, but he had waited too long and come too far to do that now. So Larry proceeded with his plans of putting those hands. He wanted to put them paws on Al, one way or another. According to Johnny Brown, who was part of Al's entourage, Larry began complaining about the stuffiness in the room and asked Al's bodyguards to open up some of the windows. Al nodded that this was a good idea and directed his bodyguards to do so. This niggas jump through the window. I know that this is that where this about to go. He had some waiting them. They about to jump through. Girl, As Al Green's bodyguard started to open up the window, they left Al Green unguarded for a brief moment with Larry, which was exactly what Larry wanted all along. And that's when our boy Larry did it. It being punching Al Green so hard in the face that it put the legendary soul singer flat on his Larry got that. Juked his. The impact from the punch and the sound of Al Green crashing to the floor alerted his bodyguards, who turned around and, to their horror, witnessed Larry delivering several more punches to Al Green's face. As an angry Larry kept swinging, a desperate Al Green started singing, but not singing those sweet melodies he became famous for. No, this time around, Al Green was singing for help, and much needed help too, because Larry was teeing off on Al Green like there was no tomorrow. But Larry wouldn't have long to enjoy this beatdown, because Al Green's bodyguards were about to make him pay, and pay dearly too, for putting his hands on their boss. Child, Larry about to get his ass kicked again. Larry, was it worth it? $200, my, and you didn't even pay for your hotel room. Like, what is wrong with you, Larry? You like getting your ass kicked? Okay, let's continue. This is the last part, y'all. So Larry Robinson had waited 7 months to get revenge on Al Green, and now in January 1978, it was finally happening. But while Larry was in the process of beating the love and happiness, make you wanna do right, make you get up early. Okay, out of Al Green, Al's bodyguards rushed him and tackled Larry to the floor. From this point on, it was all bad news for our boy Larry, because Al Green's bodyguards started punching, kicking, and whipping. Ooh, they pulled out the on that, whipping him to a bloody pulp. The beating became so vicious and violent that Larry passed out and lost consciousness. Ooh. When he came to, he was in the back of an ambulance being transported to a hospital for his wounds. Wounds that included a broken nose, a busted lip, some loose teeth, and several cuts and bruises on his face. They fucked him up. Al Green, for that matter, also suffered a busted lip and some facial bruises, but aside from that, the legendary soul singer was fine. And although he was a little rattled and shaken from the pounding he received from Larry, Al Green still went on stage that night and gave one of his best performances to date. He even joked about getting punched in the jaw by someone before the show started. After this incident at Radio City Music Hall, Larry Robinson was never heard from or seen again. I bet you he wouldn't. Thus ending what was a long but at times rocky friendship with Al Green. Many of Larry's bandmates, however, did not fault him one bit for doing what he did, because like Larry, they too had been cheated out of their money before by Al Green. Oh, Al. Now I see why he wanted to fuck your ass up. So in the end, our boy Larry never did receive the $200 that he was owed. Instead, he received 2 ass whoopings that I'm sure left many permanent scars on his face, but at least Larry was able to get some revenge on Al Green, and for a man who stood by his principles and demanded his respect, that's all he ever wanted anyway. So let's put some respect on Larry Robinson's name, or not, if you think he went overboard. The end. Child, that was juicy. That was great. Al was out here acting like a whole thug, my nigga. What the fuck? Child, Al was a mess. That's why his ass got them hot grits poured on him by his wife. Wasn't he the one that got the grits thrown on him? I think he was. Child, I never forget when we were teenagers, me and my best friend Losha used to sit up in her bedroom listening to Al Green's For the Good Times song and crying over our boyfriends at the time. We were so stupid. For the good time. With Al Green, fucks with him heavy. Let me know if y'all got any juicy Al Green stories down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe. Give me some suggestions for future nostalgic tea stories. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.